Hello, thanks for joining us on your channel of choice at this time, Africa Independent Television reality. Welcome to Focus Nigeria, your program where we put the searchlight on topic issues in the politics. My name is Benga. I'm really glad to be here this morning. To be or not to be, still a valid question that is in respect of the Anambra Central Senatorial District election rerun. Even though the issue is now before a federal high court this morning, the electoral body, INEC, has already taken what appears to be an irreversible position. The run to INEC will hold this Saturday as scheduled. INEC National Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu, who spoke yesterday on the Anambra situation after an elaborate news conference to unfold the timetable for the 2019 general elections, said the electoral body has considered all suggestions and legal opinions before coming to its conclusion to go ahead with Saturday's run.
On Anambra Central, there is a question whether the rerun election in Anambra Central Senatorial District, scheduled for January 13th, is going to go ahead. The Commission actually never issued any statement to say that the election will not go ahead. We are going by the orders of the Court of Appeal. And the Court of Appeal ordered the Commission to conduct the run elections within 90 days. The position of the Commission hasn't changed. So there will be elections in Anambra Central on January 13th, that is this Saturday. In addition, we have two other elections on that day. A by-election in Ardokola State Constituency of Taraba State, and rerun elections in 4 polling units in Gwagwalada Central Councillorship Constituency in the FCT. So the elections, the 3 elections will go ahead on January the 13th.
There you have it. The election will go ahead this Saturday. Meanwhile, the major event yesterday at the INEC headquarters was the release of the comprehensive timetable for the 2019 general elections. The INEC timetable sharply contradicts the fake one that had been trending for some time.
Decided that henceforth our presidential and National Assembly elections will hold on 3rd Saturday of the month of February of the election year, while governorship and state assembly elections will hold 2 weeks later. When the end of tenure of the FCT area councils coincide with the general election, the FCT council elections are to be combined with the governorship and state assembly elections. By these decisions, the Commission fixed Saturday, 16th February 2019 as the date for presidential and National Assembly elections, while governorship and state assembly elections will hold on 2nd March 2019. Since the end of tenure of FCT chairmen and councillors will come in 2019, the area council elections will also hold on the 2nd of March 2019. Consequently, while other Nigerians elect their governors and members of state assemblies, citizens in the FCT will elect chairmen and councillors for the area councils. Today, it is exactly 402 days to the opening of polling units nationwide at 8 a.m. on Saturday, 16th February 2019. As political parties and candidates canvass the support of the electorate, the Commission wishes to appeal to all and sundry to eschew bitterness and conduct their activities with decorum.
That 402 days is less by 1 now. 401 days actually to the D-Day when Nigerians will file out to elect a new president. plans of Governor Ayofayoshe to railroad his deputy Olushola Eleka to succeed him, even without observing the guidelines and regulations of his party, the PDP. That plan may not be smooth sailing now. After all, some members of the party are resisting the attempt, which they call the height of imposition, and have therefore vowed to resist it. At a news conference in Ado-Ekiti, they called for the dissolution of the State Executive Council of the party because it has shown undue bias in this case.
Executive Committee of the party under the chairmanship of Shiboyega Oguntoache haven't betrayed the expected neutrality role to be disqualified in the process leading to the governorship, to the gubernatorial primary in April this year. We demand for a caretaker committee to replace them for the state. The state governor, Ayodele Fayose, having pitched his tent with the deputy governor, Kolapo Olushola, is disqualified from playing any role in the PDP primary in April 2018. The relevant position of the Electoral Act and PDP Constitution should be strictly followed in conducting the gubernatorial primary in April this year. The arbitrary and illegal use of the state apparatus like radio and television stations should stop forthwith.
16-0 would not have been possible if these people did not go home to work, and if now he has decided to pitch his tent with one person that is just a beneficiary of all our efforts. So we are saying, let the field be open, let it be free, so that everyone can contest.
You live in this state, you know the comments, you know what people are saying. When somebody is saying, meet your next governor, are you God? In other words, he has already chosen as a person. He has arrogated to himself the role of the entire electorate of the state. This party was not built by him. He only came to reap himself.
Ekiti State, where the next PDP crisis is brewing already. Right, let's go back to the issue I started with, and one we have discussed for some time and at length on this program, the Anambra Central Senatorial District rerun election scheduled for this Saturday. About now, INEC and some political parties are before the Federal High Court here in Abuja, which has been asked to stop the proposed rerun. The applicant in that case is Dr. Obiora Okwonkwo, a member of the PDP, one of the candidates that wanted the Anambra Central Senatorial ticket of the party. That ticket was given to somebody else, Uche Ekunife, who subsequently contested the general election in 2015, declared winner. She had taken her seat in the Senate, but in December 2015, the Court of Appeal, in the petition of the ABGA candidate, Chief Victor Ume, nullified her election on the ground that she did not emerge from a party primary known to law. The court then ordered a rerun within 90 days. That has not happened. In fact, in March, as late as March this year, another Court of Appeal, I think in the case filed by the All Progressives Congress, which also tried to change candidate and all of that, also ordered that the rerun election should hold within 90 days. Okay, that was the same conclusion ordered by the Court of Appeal that sat as an appeal over the petition of Victor Ume. Okay, so should with this election hold on Saturday? Because in December this last year, there was also a consent judgment of the Federal High Court, which has also declared, which has ordered INEC to issue Dr. Obiora Okwonkwo with a certificate of return so that he can take his seat in the Senate, because he is deemed to be the lawful candidate of the PDP and not Uche Ekunife. So here we are confronted with the effect of that judgment, which is a consent judgment, and of course that of the Court of Appeal, which much earlier had nullified the election itself and more or less nullified the PDP primaries, which produced Uche Ekunife. So Dr. Obiora Okwonkwo is supposed to be in court this morning, because it is at his instance that everybody is in court this morning, but he has found time to be here quickly to respond to questions. Hopefully, maybe he will be headed to the court from here. So he will be joining me for the conversation shortly.
It makes no difference to me really whether I win this election or not. I want you to believe me, and I'm not talking politics. For 25 years of my life, I fought for the freedom of Nigeria. Nigeria will attain independence on October 1, 1960. So it makes no difference to me whether the Sardauna or Balewa or Chief Awolowo or myself will become the first prime minister. So long as Nigeria is free, I'll be satisfied.
They see chaos and conflicts. We see community action for good governance. They see poverty and want. We see perseverance and the will to go on. They see economic law. We see the ingenuity and creative spirit of our people. We are AIT News, fresh, authentic views of Africa. How would you rather see the world? AIT News, all sides, all the time.
We see a completely non-racial society. We don't believe, for instance, in the so-called guarantees for minority rights, because guaranteeing minority rights implies the recognition of portions of the community on a race basis. We believe that in our country there shall be no minority, there shall be no majority, there shall just be people. And those people will have
Right, if you just joining us, a very warm welcome to you. We have a lot to talk about because the guest is also here. Dr. Obiora Okwonkwo is here. I'll find out when he's going to come. He would rather prefer to be addressed as senator-elect.
Exactly.
But I want to err on the side of caution.
Well, well, you know the right thing to do, Wenga.
You can call yourself senator-elect, but I probably will err on the side of caution by just introducing you as Dr. Obiora Okwonkwo, a claimant to the Anambra Central Senatorial District.
No, the battle is over. I'm not claiming, you know, I have a court
If
order.
the battle is over, why are you summoning everybody to the court this morning?
Well, just in case they don't understand what is on the table.
And so the matter is not cut and dry.
Well, that's
Everybody
for them. They're
morning.
battling. I am not battling.
Everybody is in court this morning, and
Correct.
it's an instance of an application filed by you.
Exactly.
Why have you decided to bring everybody? Because I noticed that those that have been summoned to court this morning include those who were not even parties in your original case. All the candidates listed for Saturday's rerun, you have joined all of them. You have joined INEC.
So that they will hear from the court themselves. So then maybe they think that it's just coming from me. That's the rule. That's the rule of the game.
You don't want them to engage in what you think may be an exercise in futility or what?
Well, we just make sure they hear from the court and then take the right decision. And obviously, anything doing on top of this order is an exercise in futility. It's a nullity. It's a waste of resources and waste of time.
Doctor,
and it's a rascality.
Dr. Okwonkwo, you believe so much in this order. Why do you believe so much in this order? When people have said that there is no way you will interpret this order and it will have an overriding effect on decisions of the Court of Appeal. Not one Court of Appeal, but several Court of Appeals.
Wenga, this is not a rocket science. Except any other person who has any other ulterior motive or want to achieve another objective. It doesn't even take a lawyer to interpret this order. It can be done by a kindergarten pupil who has sense of logic. One, there is no ambiguity. It is a court order, judgment, final judgment of Federal High Court that came out of a case that was instituted 2014, a pre-election case, before any other case. And in this case, all process of litigations have taken place. Oral evidence, interlocutory appeal to Federal High Court, to Appeal Court, Supreme Court, front and back, the noted SAN in political litigation, Yusuf Ali, Izion, Owonikoko, and on. They have all at one point in order participated in this litigation. And somewhere along the line, PDP changed their leadership. And you know, the reason, before now, aggrieved parties like us do not have any backing of the law to go to the court to contest impunity of your own party. That is where you have won a primary election and then go to court to challenge it. Because the only defense the party has to put up in court is that it's internal affairs of the party.
The political party.
Then there was a change of electoral law, which was meant to address these impunities.
Yeah.
So when that was done, I took advantage of this change of electoral law to go to court to challenge it. Then PDP, in its own crisis and all that, at some point had a leadership that sat down and reviewed all the pending political cases that is a pre-election in the party. And they came to realize that in my own case, it's different. The the executive committee panel that was sent to do the election in Anambra State, from the chairman, other members that include senator, professor, they swore an affidavit. You know what it is to take a note in court to say, we went to Anambra, we conducted the election, this is the candidate that emerged. It's in the court. And the chairman stood in the dock to say, yes, I mean what I'm saying. Nobody has been able to say anything to the chairman of the panel. So based on those internal findings, they took a decision that this injustice must be addressed. And then wrote to the court, withdrawing all their evidence in support of the then perceived candidate, and subjected themselves to judgment. That's the consensus of PDP. The lawyer representing them before has fought in so many ways. So it was not like it wasn't a fought battle. Then on the other hand,
that's what brought about this concept.
That was brought about their own submission to judgment. On the case of Uche Ekwunife, she had a zeal on the matter. SN is zeal, fighting to defend her mandate in my own pre-election matter. She fought so hard. And then, even on that, when the appeal court in Enugu nullified her nomination, take note, did not nullify the election, nullified her nomination.
No, they nullified
No, don't say that.
If
now, I will tell you why.
If they didn't do that, why did the court order a rerun election if the election was not nullified?
Okay,
because that would mean that you are building another election on an election that is still subsisting.
Okay, let me tell you why.
Yeah, tell me why a rerun was ordered.
Benga, I was there in your show the other time. I explained. I've read a whole lot of other articles by other senior advocates of Nigeria, and we are not understanding. Now, let me tell you what happened in our appeal court. Victor Ume, the ABGA candidate, when he lost the election, had gone to their tribunal and petitioned the tribunal that there was an election in Anambra State Central. And the election went well. But he won the election because he has the highest number of votes valid that was cast. He wanted the court to declare him the winner. And the only way he could be declared the winner, according to him, was for the court to nullify some Idemili North and South local government, which is my area, that voted massively because I was involved. He asked them to nullify those votes from those local governments. That's my own constituency, federal constituency. The court, in attending to his case, recounted the votes, checked the validity or invalidity of the vote. Victor Ume, in the process, lost more votes from that his claim. He lost more votes than PDP.
Than INEC originally credited.
And then PDP still topped the election with 20,000 votes plus. Yes. And then the second claim in his petition was that Uche Ekwunife was not validly nominated.
The second claim was based on disqualification. Disqualification of the winner. That's disqualification of Uche Ekwunife on the ground that she did not emerge from any known primary. That's the second leg of the petition.
But do you want to hear me out? Because
yes,
I don't know if I've read the petition.
Because I've read the document.
I read it too. What I understand was that she was not validly nominated.
Exactly.
And that was also the judgment of the court.
Yes.
So in that claim, as a matter of fact, it is known by any elementary person that issue of questioning validity of nomination of a candidate in a post-election matter is not a business of a third party. A third party has no locus. We have the law.
That wasn't the law as at that time.
It remains the law, and
No,
it is.
no.
Now, however it is, that's by the way.
Sorry,
No,
we owe a responsibility to also educate the public. I owe a responsibility. That wasn't the law.
When was the last electoral act amended?
The electoral, as at the time. Victor,
when was the electoral act amended?
2015.
What time, 2015?
February, before the election. It wasn't made public. It was, the electoral act was actually amended, but wasn't.
Okay, however,
wasn't
that's not the issue. Now, let me finish. No, I got things hanging. Listen to me. Put your own. Let me finish because you have.
Donald Trump will call it the, is it the other part?
Yeah, but when you hang me on the other thing, you're trying to hang me on this. I'm not here for you to tell me what Victor Ume has told you. I think I'm here for you to hear my own perspective of the matter.
Dr. Obiora, it's not about.
Okay, so now I go ahead.
It's about court documents that I have access to. I have here 3 different Court of Appeal decisions on this issue. I have so many other judgments. So I'm reading what the court said, not what Victor Ume said.
I'm coming to that.
Talking about what the court said.
Before I come back to this,
yes,
which you must allow me to, let me make it to you that even if you have Court of Appeal judgment that is 10, Supreme Court judgment that is 10, and they emanate on this matter from a post-election matter, yes, they are a nullity and useless when put aside with my own federal high court judgment on this matter. Period. That's law. Okay. It's not sentiment. It's law.
Are you aware that the Supreme Court has ruled, the Supreme Court of Nigeria has ruled that non-qualification or disqualification arising from conduct of a party primary is a matter that can form the ground of a petition at an election petition tribunal? That the Supreme Court says so.
What I know is that the Supreme Court has given a judgment that they themselves,
yes,
even if they have given a final judgment on a post-election matter,
yes,
and there is a contrary situation in a pre-election matter, yes, they should overrule themselves. That judgment was given by the Chief Justice, led judgment given by the Chief Justice of the Federation as we speak. That's what I know in Supreme Court. And I've done that.
In which case?
They have done that in JF and the Yotam. They have said so. And they have said that in so many other cases that...
Because in JF, in Yotam, it was a... Sorry, Dr. In Yotam's case, it was a pre-election, in which case the Supreme Court remained the final court. The Supreme Court gave a final judgment, and his attention was then drawn to something else. And under the Supreme Court laws, it has a right to revisit it because it's a pre-election case, and the Supreme Court remained the final court on that issue. But in an election petition relating to National Assembly elections, the Court of Appeal remained the final decision, the final authority. And the Supreme Court, in this same Victor Ume case, the Abga case, already ruled on that.
Can I have my time on this program? Can I have my time?
I just want us to do a little bit of education.
Your education is baseless, and it is not founded on any law. It is founded on some sentiments and emotion. And I wonder why you are talking like this.
Because
you are not a lawyer.
Because I'm reading the judgment. Here you are now. You have not even brought any judgment.
But
I have all the judgments.
I'm here because I don't need any judgment to be brought. These judgments are in the public opinion. They are in the court. I don't need to come here and read that.
I have them here.
No matter,
and I'm reading to you. If you want me to read,
you are not. Excuse me. Let me tell you what you don't understand. Whatever judgment you read here,
yes, it
does not change the law.
Okay. So what is the
law? So listen to me. Let me tell you what the law is as far as this case is concerned. So if you can listen, you made your point. Yeah. You've achieved your purpose. You've supported your agenda. But listen to me and hear me.
So, Doctor, the only agenda I have in this case is the public.
Good. Wonderful.
Yes.
Boinga, let me tell you clearly. The whole of the appeal court judgment is annulled. Let me tell you
The
why
whole of
appeal judgment in this matter
is a nullity.
is a nullity.
How
Put
so?
side by side
Yeah.
with a pre-election judgment that I have. Now, let me tell you.
Court of appeal
you come
judgment,
again, you come
Court of appeal
again.
judgment is a nullity put side by side with
With
a
the
federal
High Court judgment,
with the
which
federal
is
High
a
Court
big,
judge.
why? Because
Federal High Court judgment.
why? Because it's a post-election matter, and mine is a pre-election matter. Now there is the court in the court. You cannot put. You are talking about the Court of Appeal judgment that I'm not a party. This is what they are talking about here, Benga. They have gone to court to sue this guy who is working with you. And they want the judgment of his murder execution to be levied on you. What are you talking about? I am not a party to this suit. That's law. I'm not bound by any suit. And with this judgment I got, what it just simply means that they took the wrong person to court. So if they have taken Uche Ekwunife to court in a post-election matter, I have a pre-election matter that gave a judgment that, I don't know if you read my judgment, because that what judgment says.
You have refused to give it to me.
No, but you have it, but you don't want to read it. I sent it to you many times. Is there? Now let me tell you. Now let me tell you what it is.
Yeah.
What this judgment says is this, in case you don't know.
Yeah.
On December 7th, the election primaries that was conducted in Anambra State,
Yes.
December 7th,
Yes.
2014, I am the candidate. And as such, all the privileges that are accruable to a candidate of a party from 2014, December 7, is accruable to me. As such, whatever you have done that you did not do with me is not and void. And let me tell you why your argument is baseless. The same appeal court you are referring to, that is a final judgment of post-election matter.
No,
No, on National Assembly.
National Assembly election.
On the post-election National Assembly, yes.
No, I didn't say post-election. I said on National Assembly election matters. The Court of Appeal is the final.
But I'm adding to it in case you don't know.
No, don't add to my own proposition.
Now,
you can make your own proposition.
No, what I'm saying is this. Yes, Court of Appeal is the final court in a post-election matter for National Assembly.
That's the argument.
Not my argument, that's the law. Because
that's not the law.
Let me tell you, now, Boeing, I wouldn't even listen to me. When did you become a lawyer?
No, you said post-election.
It's a post-election. Why? Because in gubernatorial and presidential, it's Supreme Court.
Okay.
Listen to me, my dear Boenga.
Okay.
What are you deceiving your viewers?
I'm listening to you.
It's related to National Assembly.
Post-election.
In a pre-election matter,
Yes.
what is the highest court?
Supreme Court.
Supreme Court.
Yes.
What does that indicate? That the post-election matter has its own life and channel.
Yes.
And the pre-election matter has its own life and channel. Yes. They are not related.
Yes.
And as long as this can go to the Supreme Court and has no time limit, which one is periodically, and law is pre-election. That's by the way. And secondly, the same appeal court you are referring to has in so many post-election matters given final judgment in election petition and said that candidate A won the election and the court, and he should remain in the Senate or in the National Assembly, right? You know about that. In a post-election matter. And that matter died. The losers from other parties go to bed and start preparing for the next election. But in an internal party struggle, the pre-election matter instituted before the election in another case in the Federal High Court continues. And that eventually, Wenga, how many members of National Assembly do you know have been removed today from National Assembly, from a pre-election matter, that are internal party affairs?
I know
so now, if that appeal court you're talking about is final judgment, one would have told them, hey, the matter is over. I give you an instance that is very clear. If what they're saying is right logically, I don't need to bring papers. I'm not a lawyer. I don't claim to be. But I have a common sense. Don't forget. I have PhD in political science distinction. I have masters in economics distinction. I have first class in economics. So you don't tell me that I don't have logic.
I've never
So
said
then,
so.
logically, let me ask you this question, Benga. Yes. So you put aside what you're doing. In Abia State election, yes, Abga candidate has taken in a post-election manner the governor to court.
Yes.
Up to Supreme Court.
Yes.
Who won? The governor, right?
Yes.
If what you're saying is correct, that the post-election matter is superior, yes, that the final court is superior, yes, do you know what you should have done? What Ibazu would have done? Yes. He would have taken his judgment of Supreme Court. Yes. He would have taken his. Are you listening to me?
I'm listening.
He would have taken the judgment that declared him finally in a post-election matter at the Supreme Court, and go and file it in the Federal High Court, and say, "Hey, Judge, this matter you have here between me and Oga is already an academic exercise. I urge you to throw it away because I have been declared in a post-election matter by a Supreme Court as the governor of Abia State." He didn't do that. He was defending himself in a Federal High Court, and he lost in the case that was decided in favor of Oga.
Dr. Obiora.
Now listen, I'm telling you.
You have not finished.
I have not finished.
Okay.
Let
Because
me
all of
finish.
these cases that you cited, I'm going to be putting the facts in a different.
I don't know what facts you have. Now let me finish. No. I don't want to. No, you don't talk until I finish. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Okay. Whether you are finished.
I finish. You will tell me. So, but he went back to his Federal High Court, yes, and continued the litigation. He lost. Yes. The grounds he went on appeal, yes, to Appeal Court and Supreme Court, yes, was never because Supreme Court has declared him winner. It's because he was defending himself in that suit, yes, because he knows it's a valid suit. Now, let me tell you again where you stopped me on what happened. You asked me a question in the litigation. Yes. The petition tribunal in Anambra State, in their judgment, get this right, declared that PDP won the election, and that issue of questioning Uche Ekwunifer's nomination is an internal affairs of the party. Then Victor Ume went to Appeal Court. Are you listening to me?
I'm listening to
you. In the Appeal Court,
yes,
if you have read the judgment,
yes, and
you understand Benga,
yes, you
would have known, without deceiving the people, that judgment did not even look into who won the election. Yes. Never. If they did, tell me, I will open the, you have the judgment, I will show you what to do. I will open the page, you will read, give me the judgment.
Let me give it to you, and tell me what.
No, I will give it, when I finish, you give it to me, I will tell you.
Yes.
I will tell you what the judgment. Now, the judgment of Appeal Court, yes, did not even look into who won the election. Yes. What they just simply said is that since this candidate, yes, Uche Ekwunife, yes, could not prove that she was validly nominated.
What part of appeal judgment?
No, I want judgment of no, or the pre-election matter, on which every other thing is based. So Benga, that's his Justice Yahaya.
Which one?
The pre-election matter for the election petition.
Yes.
But I go ahead, Benga.
Yeah, please go ahead. I'm listening to you actually.
So I'm sure that, let me see, that could be that. Because I'm sure that even if this is not the judgment.
Okay, tell us what it says.
So even if I bring it from me, I'm sure you will not even believe it. So what I'm telling what I'm telling you, Benga, is this. Now let me tell you two things. So
this is paranoid.
Okay,
you have been paranoid.
I am. It shows the reaction, Benga. You are my friend, but
you are being paranoid.
You are trying to interpret.
You don't want to understand that I have a responsibility to.
No, I know that. I was joking. That take it as a joke.
No, it's not a joke.
No, Benga, nan Benga. But you should let me talk at least.
You are talking. Okay, you have been talking. Have I stopped you?
So now what?
I'm waiting for you to laugh.
So now what happened, Benga?
Yes.
In the Appeal Court judgment, the judgment simply said that there is no need going into any other issue because Uche Ekwunife has not proven that she has been validly nominated.
So what does that mean?
Now listen.
No, what does that mean?
Let me tell you what it means now, and I'm coming to that, Benga. That's the point. What it means is this. He went further to say that because ABGA, they quoted the Electoral Act and said, since the Electoral Act has it, that is the party with the highest number of valid votes cast that wins the election. That you agree. That you agree. They said in this case, it's not ABGA. And that since Uche Ekwunife is not validly nominated, therefore, I'm quoting, I'm sure you have it there. Somebody should look for it. Then I'm quoting. Then it says that the parties before the court, that is Victume and Uche Ekwunife, cannot benefit from the election. And then therefore,
which election?
They
run the order.
No. The election that took place on 30th of March.
Okay.
Now let me tell you simple logic. Benga. If Uche Ekwunife's election and PDP's victory was cancelled, what will happen? That PDP did not win does not mean there was no election in Anambra State. If it was the case, well, let me tell you what the court will do.
Obiora, you know, it's not good to.
Benga, listen.
I will stop you at this point, and I will put the facts as they are. If what you are saying is correct, why did the Court of Appeal nullify the election? Why did
I'm coming there now.
No, you are not. Why did the Court of Appeal say PDP, because you have disobeyed the Electoral Act, you have disobeyed your own guideline by not conducting valid primaries, you are disqualified from the rerun that we are going to order.
Which judgment now? Can you read the judgment of the appeal?
Please. At this point, we need to be honest. What are the consequential orders made by the Court of Appeal in that case? Were they not that?
In the pre-election matter?
No. In the post-election matter.
In the post-election matter? In Enugu?
In the petition, yes. Enugu. Court of Appeal Enugu. Did the Court of Appeal not order that the election is nullified? Did the Court of Appeal not order that a rerun should be held in 90 days? Did the court not order that PDP and its candidates are barred from taking part in the rerun? Are those not the consequential orders? So if, as we are claiming...
Benga, you ask me a question.
Listen,
Benga, can I ask?
Please. If the PDP's victory was preserved as we are claiming, and that is the victory you want to go back to, why did the Court of Appeal order a rerun in which the PDP would not take part? Okay. Answer those questions
let me answer.
As honestly as you can,
okay,
please.
Let me, as honest as I can is this, Wenger, is that one. Let me ask your people to get my phone. Let me read for you.
Please get his phone.
Ask them to give me my phone. And if it takes 2 hours, let us read the judgment of Court of Appeal.
I've asked you very simple questions. Whether those were the consequential orders.
They were not the consequential orders.
What were the consequential orders?
I will give it to you to read to the public. Because if I say it, you will not. Because the only thing the Court of Appeal ordered is just one thing. Rerun is hereby ordered. Finish.
If a rerun is ordered, does that mean that an election was nullified?
And I have my phone.
Do you hold a rerun if an election has not been nullified?
Do you know why the rerun is nullified?
So you agree that the rerun was ordered? Was a rerun ordered?
Rerun was ordered.
Why was a rerun ordered? If an election is...
The reason why the rerun was ordered was that Victor did not win the election and he could not benefit from the election. And Uche Ekwunife has not proven that she was validly nominated.
But you already said that the court also heard that the party inherits the vote. So why did the court not say, okay, PDP, you won. It's only that you didn't have a candidate. Go and get a candidate.
The court said that. The court, let me show you. The court said that. Let me show you. Benga, let me show you, because I don't know why you are deceiving your viewers.
You are the one misleading the public,
Benga,
and I have a right to correct you.
Benga,
this is a public forum, please.
Benga, listen.
We are talking of Court of Appeal judgments that are everywhere. You are the one misinforming the public.
No, I don't know which one.
Because if a court didn't order, if a court didn't nullify an election, why was a rerun ordered? And why did the court say, PDP, you cannot take part in the rerun? Those are simple facts that I need you to provide honest answers. And you are not.
Benga, let me show you the judgment. So you read where this is saying now. No,
read that judgment that is contrary to what I've read here.
I will read it to you so that you will tell us where it said so. So, but let me tell you also further why I'm looking...
please read it. I challenge you to read it.
Why I'm looking for it, because of time factor.
No, please, look, Dr. Obiora, you have raised issues...
Benga, listen
you have raised issues of sincerity here. You need to convince the public about the veracity of what you have said, please. So I insist.
The public today should know if I'm right or wrong.
Yes, I insist that you should prove that.
Okay, Benga. I'm glad we have this opportunity. Benga.
Yes.
Would you want me to read it? For you to read it, I read it.
Please read it.
Will you believe that I'm reading what? Better see first of all. No, see.
Just,
no, you must see it. No,
just
you must certify that is.
Read it. Read the consequential orders.
Certify that this is certified copy and signed by Yahaya.
Read the consequential orders.
And this is the one paragraph. This is the order. In sum, this appeal succeeds, and it is allowed. The powers of decision of the tribunal delivered on the 9th of October 2015 is hereby set aside. We order the first respondent herein, Independent National Electoral Commission, to conduct a fresh election into the Anambra Central Senatorial District within 90 days from today. 50,000 calls to the appellant is allowed. Show me where they put your own judgment.
Dr. Obiora.
Show me where they
Dr. Obiora, if a fresh election is ordered,
no,
does that mean that the previous election subsists? I asked you that very
simple question. You
won't
let me answer it. You say I should read. Read your own, Benga.
See, I believe completely what
you believe. So yes, now tell the public that you are wrong. Tell them you are wrong, Benga. Show me your own. You are saying the court ordered that PDP should not participate. The court ordered that PDP has not won. So now let me read further before I talk.
Yes.
Let me read further. Why are you deceiving people? Read your own here, Benga. What sort of rubbish is this? Are you here to achieve a purpose, Benga?
Dr. Obiora,
now
the purpose I'm here
further.
to achieve is to educate the public.
You are deceiving the public, and these are the facts. You said you have all the judgments in this world. Why did you not have why don't you have my judgment? You should have every judgment if you are informed. If you're a research fellow, you should have good judgment.
Dr. Obiora,
so
don't let me say some things about this case.
What if you
don't
can
let me say that your statement that you sent that judgment to me is not true. I have gone
fine.
I have gone to INEC
I didn't send this judgment to you.
No,
let me let them bring my bag. I get my judgment. Please let me get my bag so that we read it here. It's not far away. It's not secret document. I need water at least.
The Bugatti will.
Give me water, cold room, please. You wouldn't even offer me even tea. Is it that bad?
Is it cold water you want?
No, I want room temperature.
Please get room temperature water for Dr. Obiora Okwonkwo, is my friend.
This is not, you're my friend. Take it easy on me, man. Now look. Oh, wait, come on. Not even this can top this thing. Huh? This is, you know. Now let me tell you something.
I had believed that both of us owe a responsibility to the public.
But
you are not holding you believe so much in your own case. You don't want to educate the public.
I don't have a case.
Me, the public is my own concern.
I don't have a case. I'm taking the facts. Now listen. Let me read the last paragraph.
Please do.
Benga.
Don't forget that the question I asked, which you have not answered, is why was a rerun ordered? Because if the former election was valid,
let me read why the rerun was ordered.
A rerun ordered?
Don't hear it from me. Let me read it from this judgment.
Okay. Because
the judgment took care of this since I'm misinterpreting.
You already agreed that a rerun was ordered.
That's why we're here.
So who will be the candidate of the PDP in that rerun? Because Uche Ekudife was already taken out. Now, who will then be the candidate of the PDP in that rerun?
You don't want me to read. Let me talk before I read.
No, you have read it.
This is another version that answered your question in the judgment.
Okay.
The reason why the rerun was ordered was that before the court of appeal, I'm not a party to the suit. I don't have locals to be part of a pre-election, a post-election matter. So before the court, the candidate was not valid.
Uche Ekudife was not valid.
PDP had no candidate.
Why was Uche Ekudife not valid?
Uche Ekudife, in her own case, could not prove to the court
that she won a primary.
That she was valid. They say valid nominated. Now let me go back to it. So
the court of appeal ordered a rerun where the PDP will still take part, but the PDP has no candidate because Uche Ekudife had been taken out.
Benga, let me tell you one thing.
Logic now.
Benga, you went from law to logic. Benga, show me where in the judgment you are referring to. The judgment say PDP will not have a candidate. Nowhere.
No, so I dare ask who will be the candidate. Because you said that Uche Ekudife had been disqualified.
Well, in the first place, Benga,
yes,
there is not supposed to be a rerun. But even if there is a rerun,
so the court of appeal was also wrong to order.
Let me tell you, even if there is a rerun, as it is today, you can never do that election without PDP because we have a judgment that says since 2014 I am the candidate. These facts were not before the appeal court. They were the only narrow issue the appeal court discussed. The only narrow issue that this appeal court judgment you are referring to discussed is I need a glass. I'm a gentleman. I drink only from glass.
Okay. Please get a glass. The gold-plated one, please.
Yeah, very clean one. So,
not clean, gold-plated.
That's good. I deserve that, Benga. So, Benga, what I'm saying is this.
Do you still need the bag? Your
Yes.
bag is also here.
My judgment. Give me my bag. You will read this judgment yourself.
Yes.
Not me this time. Because you might not believe me. So, Benga, the only narrow issue that the Court of Appeal decided that is making all these waves, one narrow issue, nothing else. The Court of Appeal did not decide whether Obiora Okwonkwo was in primary or not. They said if PDP's candidate to the election was disqualified because she was not validly nominated, and PDP has no other candidate, can they present a candidate through a fresh primary? That was the only issue. That was the only issue.
How will you answer that issue?
The only issue, the court has said no. But
the court answered no, that the party will not present a candidate, a fresh candidate.
Why? Because not that the party is not qualified to present it, but because, let me tell you what it is, that because they cannot conduct a fresh primary. Listen, because they had a run. It's a continuation of election of 2015 that the primary closed in December. That was the only reason why PDP...
Are you aware that principle, the Supreme Court interpreted that principle widely?
Well,
wait now.
But assuming they are right.
Listen.
Wait, assuming they are right.
The Supreme Court is not right.
No.
Wait now. Let's inform the public. Are you aware that this same principle that you just said, the Supreme Court amplified it in the case of Kogi State, where the APC was said not to have conducted valid primaries, and as a result of that, the elections of 2 senators on the platform of the APC were nullified. The elections of 2 House of Reps members were nullified. And when the case eventually got to the Supreme Court said, in a case where a political party presented a candidate that was not qualified or didn't conduct a valid primary, and the court ordered a rerun, that party, the punishment for that party is that it will not take part in the rerun ordered.
Okay.
Are you aware? In Kogi case.
Okay, Benga.
Are you aware?
Benga, you made my argument for me. I am aware. Because,
so you are aware.
Now listen, because I'm not talking about primaries. I'm not talking about election.
Is it not primaries you are claiming that you won?
I said, listen, Benga. Listen, I'm not talking of election. Because the same Court of Appeal that said Uche Kunife was not validly nominated, gave a judgment in the case I'm pursuing a pre-election matter. Do you understand that? He gave judgment on my case. Because what I'm saying in my pre-election matter is that Uche Kunife was not validly nominated. That she did not arise from the valid primary, because the primary that was valid is the primary that I attended and that I won.
So. The Court of Appeal said there was no primary. The PDP did not conduct primary.
Show me where they said so. What is the Court of Appeal business with PDP conducting? This is my judgment order. You have it, Benga. Take it. Read what you want.
This is the enrolled order. Where is the judgment? This is the enrolled order.
The judgment order is what you need.
No, I want the comprehensive judgment, not the enrolled order.
I don't know when you.
The Court of Appeal judgments I gave you are full judgment, not enrolled order.
I don't know when you studied this year law that you are practicing here with me.
Give me the judgment, not the enrolled order.
Well, in any case, what matters?
Give me the judgment.
You know why don't you? What do you want here that is not in the judgment? Benga, tell me what you want here that is not in the judgment. What you do, what you work with here is enrolled order, not judgment.
Yes.
Please. So don't just. So all these things you are doing, Benga, is for my time here to be up, so that people will rely only in what you have said. That's not right. You are not being fair. What matters in this case is a road judgment. That's what you have. So, Benga, this is what you need.
Yes.
And it's certified, written.
Yes.
So, Benga, what I'm saying here is this. The same argument you made is in my favor.
Yeah.
So, if the reason why, and let me tell you also, Benga, in the Court of Appeal, where INEC went on appeal, for no reason, the argument INEC is making, it's not that the election was invalidated. And I'm going to read it to you, Benga. The Court of Appeal did not invalidate the election. The only argument in the narrow issue was if PDP's candidate to the election was not validly nominated, can PDP now tell me, Ebwenga, simple question, I put it to you. Why is INEC refusing candidate from APC? Is it because that Ngige was disqualified?
Ngige withdrew.
Okay, it's not disqualified.
Ngige withdrew.
Fine, okay, that's another question.
Yes.
So now the reason why they're not accepting a new candidate is because
because the court said the parties will be as they were before the court nullified the election.
Wonderful. Do you know as they were now? As they were now is that with my court order, I am the candidate. And
so why don't you want to go for the rerun? You are saying there shouldn't be rerun.
Benga.
Because you already, here, to the public, here, you have admitted that the court ordered a rerun and that PDP is qualified for that rerun. You also admitted here to the public that Uche Ekunife will no longer be the candidate of the PDP. Who then is the candidate of the PDP? By the strength of the court judgment that will be you.
Yes. Now let me ask you.
That will be you.
Yes.
You are, at least for once, you agree with me.
But do you agree with me?
I agree with you.
And let me ask you.
Sorry, I have not finished.
So just if you agree with me that I'm the candidate.
By once, you agree that you are the candidate. And INEC has said the rerun will now hold on Saturday. You are saying no, there shouldn't be rerun. You should just simply be given a certificate of return to go to the Senate.
Okay, Benga. If you agree with me that I'm the candidate, tell INEC that if even I thought there should be rerun and they do that without me, it's a nullity. Tell it to their viewers. So having done that, let me tell you why there should not be a rerun. The reason why there should not be a rerun is that PDP won the election.
Yes.
INEC never went to court because INEC declared PDP the winner.
There is no election, Dr. Okwonkwo. By the strength of the judgment of the Court of Appeal, which ordered a rerun. The fact of a rerun,
I want to talk about
the fact of a rerun has obliterated the fact of that election that you are claiming. That election no longer exists.
I'm not a party to appeal court suit. I have no business with appeal court suit. I have a judgment for which interest I am in this case.
What will I do to make you understand?
No, you are why are you not reading my judgment? I'm not here because of appeal court judgment. I'm here because of my judgment. That's my judgment. Read to the public the order. Let me. I want you to read the order.
No, I want you to. I told you that I want the.
Please.
No, so please sit down. Please, I'll give you.
Give me. Don't want anything. Let me read the order.
I want to give it to.
Wenga, what are you doing?
That's not. Is that it?
You don't do this. That's my judgment. Let me read my judgment.
Please read it.
That the plaintiff applicant is the validly nominated candidate of PDP at the 7 December 2014 PDP primary election to nominate his candidate for the Anambra Central Senatorial District at Ekweme Square. Did you see that? Is the judge?
I'm listening. You are reading.
Did you see that? Have you known about this before? Benga, tell me yes or no. Have you heard about this judgment? Maybe when you hear, you can change your opinion. The third order.
Your colleague who was
the third. Forget it. Now, don't talk about I'm talking about what I'm reading. The third order. That the third defendant respondent, INEC, shall cancel the certificate of return if any subsisting issued to the fourth defendant. Now, that election has cancelled it.
A certificate of return that was nullified since December 2015.
That the third defendant respondent, INEC, shall issue a certificate of return to the plaintiff applicant Dr. Obiora Okwonkwo forthwith as the senator representing Anambra Central Senatorial District. Are you telling INEC to disobey the court order? Are you aware that in any order, no matter how foolish, how irresponsible it is, you must obey before you complain, right? Is it the essence of this appeal court reading and analogy for INEC to disobey order? And let me tell you, Benga, what you should
That's
know.
going to be your final point because we're out of time. You can see
that you have achieved their purpose. You've not let me say anything. But one thing is this, Benga, know it for a fact that I've read for you the judgment of appeal court case, and there's nowhere anything Victor Ume wants the people to know you are saying is contained there. One, you said you have the judgment, read it for me. You didn't bring it. I brought it. You didn't want me to read it. Secondly, know it for a fact that pre-election matter is superior to post-election matter. And let me know it for a fact that I believe that INEC is a responsible institution, and they will know that this is so. And now, Benga, let me ask you a question.
Dr. Okwonkwo, I'll see you.
Have you seen the advice of Awomola? Asian. Because you are now you are touching the position of
Doc,
a lawyer.
Dr. Okwonkwo.
Yes or no?
Dr. Okwonkwo, Dr. Okwonkwo, I will see you.
The advice of Awomola is trending in the internet.
Dr. Okwonkwo,
have
I'll
you seen
see
it?
you. I'll
Benga,
see
have
you.
you seen it?
I'll see you at the Federal High Court in a short while. I intend to be at that Federal High Court today. I'll see you there.
I want when you come, we and I will come back to this program tomorrow.
Yes.
And we'll discuss what the court says.
All right.
Benga, let me.
Thank you. Let's be
answer me
decent.
this
Please,
question.
now let's be decent. This program has ended.
Benga,
thank you.
Have you seen Awomola's?
I'll see you tomorrow. That's the end of the program for today.
Thank you.
Benga.